of chloroform and dichloromethane. Did we discuss the first part of it, or we just had started it?
Now we all we wrote was I think
I think you were just started doing it. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So no problem. You continue doing. Like if anybody is there who already solved this one and got the answer, you can tell. Others, please start solving. Basically, you need to check the number of moles. First calculate. Yeah.
Was, we just like given info which is there, we just told that like
Yeah, the given information we were extracted from the question, and that I think that is the first thing we did. Then we also started calculating the molar mass, right? For chloroform, it was CHCl3, and dichloromethane.
Oh yeah, we just started calculating that.
So what was the molar mass for chloroform? Okay, you can start from the beginning. Chloroform CHCl3. How you will calculate the molar mass?
Ma'am, it's 119.5.
119.5 because carbon is 12, hydrogen is 1, chlorine is 35.5. So I hope all of you know how to do it. So I'm not showing the step, and you will be getting 119.5. And similarly, you can do for dichloromethane, CH2Cl2, carbon is 12 and 2 hydrogen, that is 1 into 2, then 35.5 is chlorine. 35.5 into 2 is that is 70.
85.
85, right? So this is the molar mass. From the formula you can calculate the molar mass. Then what next step is calculate the number of moles of chloroform and dichloromethane. Calculate the number of moles. Number of moles is equal to mass by molar mass. What is the mass of chloroform CHCl3 given in the question? 25.5 gram, right? So it will be 25.5 divided by 119.5. That will give you number of moles. Similarly, you can calculate the number of moles of dichloroethane, that is CH2Cl2, which is 40 grams, that is given in the question. Mass is 40 grams divided by molar mass is 85. So you will get number of moles of both the component, chloroform and dichloroethane. Mass is already given in the question. Molar mass you have already calculated now. So you will get the number of moles.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, we will have to find the mole fractions for
Yeah,
calculating
from
the
number
vapor
of,
pressure, right?
yeah, from the number of moles, next step is finding the mole fraction. Because to calculate the mole fraction, you should be knowing the number
So
of moles.
we will have to do the second one first, then the to calculate the vapor pressure, right? In the question. Like mole
Yeah.
fractions of each component in vapor phase.
No. That is in vapor phase. That is
Oh, okay.
Y1 and Y2. That is different. Here we are using
Okay.
mole fraction in solution. That is Chi1 and Chi2. That is two different things. So here what will be the value? Number of moles of chloroform?
I'm getting 0.21.
Okay, 0.21 moles. And what about dichloromethane? 40 divided by 85.
Ma'am, 0.47 moles.
Yes.
Yeah. What is the value you're getting here?
0.47.
47 mole.
Moles. Using these values, now you can calculate the mole fraction chi1 and chi2. That is, instead of writing 1 and 2, you can write chi for chloroform and dichloroethane. So that will be the next step. Calculating mole fraction for chloroform. So number of moles of chloroform divided by number of moles of chloroform plus number of moles of dichloroethane. So here, you know, the chloroform, number of moles of chloroform was 0.21 divided by 0.21 plus 0.47. So this will give you what is the mole fraction for chloroform. 0.21 divided by 0.69.
Oh, 0.68, right?
Using the same way, you can calculate the mole fraction for dichloromethane also, or there is one more method to do it.
Ma'am?
Ma'am, 0.30.
Ma'am, it's 0.68, right? In the denominator.
Yeah, the denominator is 0.68.
68?
Yeah, denominator.
Ah, okay. I wrote it wrong here, right? It will be 68. Yeah, sorry. So what will be the mole fraction for
0.3.
chloroform? Solving 0.21 divided by 0.3. You will get the answer.
0.3. 0. Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you have to repeat 4 times stop.
Yeah, what is the answer here? You all are waiting for me to calculate and give the answer.
Someone do the answer 4 times.
Ma'am, is it?
Ma'am, 0.30.
Yeah, ma'am.
Can ma'am even hear me?
Ma'am.
Yeah, I think there was some problem with my speaker. Now only you're audible. Sorry.
Ma'am,
So that's what I was thinking.
0.30.
Why so? Sorry. That's what I was thinking. Why suddenly it becomes so silent?
30.
Okay. Take the exact value actually. Don't go for rounding. Is it coming as 0.30 correctly?
No, ma'am. Yeah, it comes 0.308. I did till there.
Okay. And what about the other way? Because I don't think that it is 0.30. It is 0.312. That is what something is supposed to get. 0.312. Check again because that makes a difference.
I think they took 3 decimal places for the moles.
Okay. So check again. Once you get the chloroform mole fraction, you can calculate or you can find out the mole fraction for dichloromethane either using the equation or there is one other shortcut method. What is that method? Very good. 1 minus because sum of mole fractions are equal to unity. Yeah. So you can either use the equation to calculate number of moles divided by total number of moles or 1 minus
Ma'am, how
0.312.
0.312?
That is mole fraction for chloroform, CHCl3.
That's 0.21 divided by 0.68.
Yeah.
It is 0.308.
Ma'am, 0.308, ma'am, I said.
I think in the you have to take the full digit in there. I was just checking my answer here. Yeah, you have to take 0.213 number of moles and full digits. Then you will get it like this. Okay. So you're supposed to get mole fractions as these two values 0.312 and 0.688.
Ma'am, but that's on. I guess you'll get only 0.31 if you take it as 0.6. Ma'am, this is 0.47. On the top, it's 0.47. That's
ma'am?
why we took a different value. We took it as 0.21.
You were giving the number, yeah, 0.47 only. 0.21 and
We wrote it
0.27.
as.
Ma'am?
We divide 0.213 divided by 0.683, then we get 0.3118. But
Okay.
if you do it, 21 and 68 with two digits, then we get 0.308.
Ma'am, we
That's
did it the
right.
opposite way around. We found we did for CHCl3, ma'am, not CH2Cl.
No. Both we did, and we got this one correct only. 0.47 we did. Only thing is that we just did chloroform first, then dichloromethane. But that is okay. That's quite okay. It's not that you should always start with dichloromethane or something like that.
But then
You
we are
can do
not
it
getting
in.
But then how will you get it as 312, ma'am? That's the question.
See, no, here 40 divided by 85, 0.47, correct? Yeah, and 25.5 divided by 119.5, you will get it as 0.213. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
The only
ma'am,
thing
then,
is, I didn't write
why
that
did
3.
we do that 1 minus 0.688 from where
That is
0.688?
because total number of mole fraction, yeah, total number of mole fraction is equal to unity. So two components
Ma'am,
are
if you
there.
take it as 0.213, then you will get 0.312 or
Yeah, that's
0.313.
what. So to calculate the mole fraction separately, you can use equation, or after calculating the one value, you can subtract it from 1. So that either way you will get the mole fraction. After calculating the mole fraction, use the equation P total equation, that modified equation for calculating total vapor pressure. P total is equal to P10 plus P20 minus P10 into chi2. So use that equation and you will get the final answer for P total as 347.9 millimeter mercury.
Ma'am, I rounded the mole fraction, so I got 350.5. Is that a problem? Or
That is very big problem. How you got 315?
350 I got the final answer.
Yes, ma'am.
But
Even I
try to don't round the values before the
Okay.
end, the final answer. Only in the final answer only you cut down the parts. Then
Ma'am,
every step for rounding, then it will be final answer and the original. Like even though your steps will everything will be same and correct, still your answer may vary from the original. So
Okay, ma'am.
ma'am, in the formula that's P01 plus into clean bracket P02 minus P01, right?
this is the modified equation for calculating total vapor pressure that we discussed yesterday.
Yesterday, ma'am, I drew the diagrams. Was it like necessary?
Diagram for
Ma'am,
this question is not necessary.
no, ma'am, not this question, ma'am. Yesterday's, ma'am, like you told us not to write the notes and just listen. Told that we should write later, ma'am. So yesterday I wrote this is a diagram necessary, ma'am. The vapor pressure and the mole fraction of solvent.
Yeah, diagram. Anyway, I will upload the
It's
notes
the
today,
graph,
so you
ma'am.
can check them. Yeah, graph. That is just for your understanding. Like,
Oh, I already finished drawing it. So I was like, is it necessary to
good,
learn?
good. You draw me good. You will learn it, right? So that's good.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay, so are you all getting this answer? 347.9. Please check on it. This is the first part of your numerical. There is second part also for this question where you need to calculate Y1 and Y2. That is the mole fraction in vapor phase. Chi1 and Chi2 is the mole fraction that is in the liquid solution dissolved state, and in the vapor state it is denoted by the letters Y1 and Y2. So you need to calculate Y1 and Y2. That is the second part of the question. So if you're getting it correctly, P total, then only you can do the second part, because you need the value of P total in finding out the value of Y1 and Y2. Are you all getting it? 347.9. 20. 346.2. 46.2. One digit will they usually give mark.
I'm 347.135. Is that fine?
Okay. That's okay. Okay. From this P total, how can you calculate Y1 and Y2? How you will calculate Y1 and Y2? Which is the equation? The equation
P1
is,
is equal to Y1 P total.
yeah, Y1 P total, or you can write P2 is equal to Y2 P total. So here basically Y1 is equal to P1 by Pt, that is P total. So you need to know what is the value of P1 and P2, then only you can calculate Y1 and Y2, right? In order to calculate Y, yeah.
Ma'am, in the question, when they asked to calculate mole fraction, they mean Y?
Mole fraction in vapor phase, they were very specific with the state. Yeah?
Okay, ma'am.
In the question, they ask all the about the mole fraction in vapor phase. So that is why you're finding Y1 and Y2. If it was just mole fraction, then you will do only for solution state, and that you're already doing in the calculation of total pressure. So obviously you should be knowing that that is already done as part of calculation of total vapor pressure. So this is a different mole fraction.
Okay, ma'am.
Right. So here to calculate Y1 and Y2, we already know P total, but P1 and P2 is not, you are not given in the question, or you are not calculated. So first you need to calculate what is P1 and P2 using the Rawls law equation. P1 is equal to P1 not 0 chi1, and P2 is equal to P2 not 0 chi2. Use this two equation and calculate P1 and P2. After calculating P1 and P2, substitute in this Y1 equation so that you will get Y1 and Y2. So you are using Rawls law equation to calculate partial vapor pressure of chloroform and dichloromethane separately. After calculating the partial vapor pressure, you can calculate its mole fraction in vapor phase. Right? So that's what you will do in the next step. Second part of the question is to calculate Y1 and Y2. And let me know whether you're getting this answer after solving. So partial vapor pressure of dichloromethane, you will get answer as 285.5 millimeter mercury, and partial vapor pressure of chloroform, you will get it as 62.4. And use these two values to calculate Y1 and Y2. That is, for dichloromethane, mole fraction in vapor phase is 0.82 and mole fraction of chloroform in vapor phase is 0.18. It will be different from its mole fraction in liquid condition, I mean the dissolved state in the inside the solution. So final answer is 0.82 and 0.18. Here dichloromethane is the solvent that was in 40 gram and chloroform was 25.5 gram. That is the solute. That is why everything, instead of writing 1 and 2, they always write dichloromethane first, then write chloroform. Because always number 1 will be for the solvent and 2 will be for the solute, less in the quantity. Are you all getting it? Prasanna, you got the answer?
Yes, ma'am. Got the answer.
Okay. Harry, what about you? Harish, are you there?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm still having trouble
Oh.
to get the answer.
Okay. Check and see whether all of you are getting it. It will be usually comes as 3-mark question.
Ma'am, whenever we substitute, should we write the units?
For
Ma'am, like in any.
as shown. No. Only a substitute you don't need. Only for the final answer you show the unit. So here in this slide they have shown everything millimeter mercury. No need to do like that. You can just write 0.688 into 415. Final answer only you show the unit, correct unit.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, you were saying before, like, I guess last class, something we have to submit our books, ma'am. So we'll have to scan the entire book.
Not the entire book, only the pages where you have written. Okay.
And ma'am, I meant the same thing, but like, how much ever we have written, ma'am, that'll be like
Entire
a
book,
lot.
that's what I said. Pages.
It's gonna be like
Chapter by chapter.
That is still a
Not
lot.
like.
Ma'am, so for the
Yeah.
blended students, you're gonna do it like you'll take the book.
Yeah, them they don't have to scan because they are coming to school, no, right?
So if I give my book through someone, is it okay?
No, then how you will write the notes of that day?
That you don't worry, ma'am. I'll manage it for 1-2 days.
Thank you, Samil, for your effort.
Ma'am, so is that okay?
Not okay.
You just want me to come to school and give the book.
For blended learning then. Okay, I guess all of you have got the final answer, right? Any doubt in this one, please ask and clear it before we proceed to the next topic. I think Johan is still doing. Anybody else still working on it? No? Yes? No? No, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay. That means we are good to go to the next topic. Yeah. The next topic is actually something which is based on Raoult's law. So we were discussing about vapor pressure, and we have used Raoult's law in calculating the vapor pressure of something like in the solution, right? About a volatile substance in the solution. We used Raoult's law to calculate the partial vapor pressure and hence to calculate the total vapor pressure. So here, like last year in grade 11, you might have studied about, we have discussed about ideal gas, okay, ideal and non-ideal gas. And that was basically the definition was done based on ideal gas equations. From the combined gas law only we derived ideal gas equation. From that only we decided all the gases which follow ideal gas equation was termed as ideal gases. Similarly, for a solution, if you want to define a solution as an ideal solution, for an ideal solution, we use Raoult's law as a basic. That means any solution which follow Raoult's law over the entire concentration, range of concentration, then you can call that solution as ideal solution. If it is not following Raoult's law in the different concentration, range of concentration, then it will come under non-ideal solution. So just like for a gas, we are classifying the gas as ideal gas and non-ideal gas. Similarly, solution also can be classified as ideal solution and non-ideal solution based on Raoult's law. Anyway, Sunday we will discuss the properties and how can we differentiate ideal and non-ideal solution in detail, and I think by that we can finish, maybe by Sunday we can finish Raoult's law topic. Then we have colligative properties left. That is also a little lengthy, and there is where you will find more numericals from this chapter, colligative properties. Okay, so that's it. We'll see. Let's see, maybe one more week we may have to spend here in solution. Let's see how long does it take. So that's it. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
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 Bye, ma'am. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.